Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new box office breakdown show here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. Today, I am breaking down the box office of this past weekend domestically from the December 19th to December 21st, 2025. We're going to look at the overall numbers, both domestic and worldwide for the year 2025, and preview really the final big box office weekend for the month of December and for the year 2025. So my name is Max Dinenberg. Welcome back, everyone, to Max Talks Box Office here at Max Talks Movies. If you're new, guys, please subscribe, ring the bell so notified when my videos, guys, hit the channel. I am under 20 subscribers away, guys. We've been really climbing the charts, trying to get to 400 subscribers to start 2026. We're under 20 away, so if you're new to the channel and you like movies, TV shows, Academy Awards, box office, movie franchise rankings, all of those things I talk about it. So please subscribe, ring the bell, and join the Max Talks Movies community. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on the box office? What did you see this past weekend? What are you going to see over the Christmas holiday? Love to hear your thoughts. You usually go to the movie theaters for Christmas. You usually stay home. Love to hear your movie theater experiences for Christmas down in the comments. And also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this past weekend's box office domestically, which was the 19th to the 21st, 2025. Not shockingly, Disney's Avatar Fire and Ash is the #1 box office movie of the weekend. It opened to $89.1 million. Now, this is the second biggest opening for the franchise. The first movie back in 2009 opened to $77 million domestically. The movie though, the problem for Avatar Fire and Ash is the movie that came out 3 years ago, Avatar Way of Water, opened to $134 million. So there is a big dramatic difference, basically a $45 million decrease from Avatar 3 to Avatar 2. And that's something you really don't want to see with a franchise like this. Now, here's the good news. I'll go through the good and the bad for Avatar Fire and Ash. Here's the good. The movie is already tracking to only drop 30 to 35% in its second weekend. And also the good news, the reason why that is probably is the audience scores are fantastic for Fire and Ash. It has an A cinema score, it has around over a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Those are verified audience scores. So clearly, the people who went to go see Avatar Fire and Ash thought it delivered. And again, these Avatar movies, each of the first two movies made over $2 billion. The first one made 2.9. Way of Water made 2.3. Now, here's the bad news. I don't think this movie is going to get to $2 billion as of now. I think some people are trying to put the panic button and have some headlines, which is Avatar Fire and Ash going to make $1 billion? I would say yes. The movie is already at 400 worldwide. So I do think with some really strong holds and the fact that really there are no major competition for Avatar coming out for Christmas and also for all of January. And unlike other movie studios, Disney keeps their movies in theaters longer than anyone's. Zootopia 2, still in theaters, will still be in theaters for at least another month. Avatar will be in theaters for months. It's always going to also have the biggest screens because it's playing in Prime, Dolby, 3D, IMAX, all of the big platforms. So, and Avatar Fire and Ash isn't going to lose that to any movies coming up over the next month. So that's a big thing for Avatar Fire and Ash. I think it'll definitely get over $1 billion. But yes, this is definitely not going to be as big of a hit as the first two movies. And it's really funny because the first two Avatars were such cultural phenomenons where it felt like you had to be, everyone on the planet felt like was watching Avatar, if it was the first one or the second one. And the second one was, I guess, a year into, the mixture of COVID and going back to the movie theaters. That still made $2.3 billion. So it is very weird that 3 years later, there is such a significant decrease in interest in the movies after everyone said the second film was the best of the franchise. What is the reasoning, I guess, for Avatar not being as big of a hit? Now, I will say this. For me, my #1 reasoning is Avatar finally had competition against it in its weekend. If you look back at 2009, and especially for Way of Water, movies would get out of the way of Avatar and say, we're not going to go up against Avatar because that's such a big global phenomenon. Our movie's just going to lose. But basically three movies hit the marketplace this weekend and had really good counter programming. The numbers for the top four movies, top five movies this weekend, are at least $14 million. So there was really good, not just did people go to the movies to see Avatar, people went to the movies in general. Three of the five movies this weekend are animated movies, so really good counter programming. And it's going to be interesting now with more blockbusters like Avatar. Will we see more studios want to challenge them for counter programming? So usually when there's an Avengers movie or an Avatar or Batman, movies, other films stay away. But with Fire and Ash, three movie studios, Angel Studios, Lionsgate, and Paramount, were not afraid to counter program Avatar, and it seemed like that paid off. But again, everyone, as I continue to tell people on this box office show, you really don't know for most of these movies if there are flops or hits after one weekend. It takes time. We got to be patient. As someone who covers the box office, I am very patient. You guys out there have to be patient. This is not a flop. This also isn't a monster success like the other films. So we will see. If it truly only drops 30% in its second weekend, that would be a really amazing drop for Avatar Fire and Ash. But we will have to see when I talk to you guys after the Christmas holiday. At number two this weekend is a new animated film, David, from Angel Studios, opening to $22 million. Now, Angel Studios had a movie a couple years ago that did really well, but the reports were they paid off a lot of people to go to free screenings. A lot of those theaters were empty. So Angel Studios got a lot of flack. And over the last year and a half, Angel Studios has released so many movies, and all of them, for the most part, have come and gone. Now, there was an animated movie that came out over Easter this year that is the second biggest movie in the history of Angel Studios, and now David will probably become the third biggest film in the realm of Angel Studios. Really smart programming from a religious-based film studio to release two animated films, one for Easter and one in time for Christmas. I think we're going to see, in my opinion, moving forward, more major movie studios tackle religious-based things, if it's the Bible or stuff like that, for holidays and releasing them for the holidays. Angel Studios is capitalizing on Easter and Christmas to get those people in the theater. Really smart work from Angel Studios. People like the movie, obviously, who went to see it. And also, these movies are very rewatchable. Again, I grew up watching The Prince of Egypt. That movie is still very rewatchable. I watched it like every year in Hebrew school. It's a movie that many people continue to watch. That's the blessing of films like this that come out for particular religious holidays. They're rewatchable for years to come. So David came in at number two. At number three this weekend was The Housemaid from Lionsgate, opening to $19 million. I think this is a very solid opening. Now, again, David opening at $22 million didn't just chip away at Avatar, but I think it really chipped away at The Housemaid, because Housemaid was supposed to be a slam dunk number two movie for this weekend. If you told us 3 weeks ago The Housemaid would not be a number two for the weekend, people would think it was a disaster. Now, the movie only has like a $35 million budget, so it needs to make around $80 to $90 million to break even. But I think the numbers for Lionsgate, they'll do really good on digital. I think it's a must-needed win for Sydney Sweeney in particular, who's been getting a lot of flack lately. For Christie, got a much better success. Amanda Seyfried, I think, helps out as well. But again, this is not a smash hit or anything like that, but I think it's a very solid number, especially going up against Avatar 3. At number four, another new release, the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, came in at number four, $15.6 million. And this is a movie that I thought was really good counter programming, but it already got beat by another animated film in David by $7 million. So not just is Avatar coming out this weekend, but SpongeBob went up against another new animated movie that really chipped away. No one's really talking about this movie. It's really come and gone from the social media perspective, and just in the headlines. So SpongeBob did 15 million, probably would have done 25 million, I would say, if David was not on this list, but it is on this list, and it took away a lot of other families to go and see to the movies. So very fascinating where, a month ago, no one knew David was going to be a big hit. Here we are, David's a big hit. It really hurt, obviously, Avatar, but really, in my opinion, hurt Housemaid and SpongeBob more than it did Avatar. And coming in number five is Zootopia 2 from Disney, dropping 43% in its fourth weekend, 14.8 million, 283 million domestic for Zootopia 2. As I said, really fascinating. Three of the five movies this weekend were animated movies. Now, I think for Disney moving forward, sometimes counter programming is good if it's their own studio. It can be a bit of an issue. Again, Disney always has their major releases come out mid-December, and their Disney Animation Studios movies come out for Thanksgiving. But if those Thanksgiving Disney Animation Studios are major hits, like a Zootopia 2, that can sometimes bleed into Avatar, which possibly could have happened as well. So Zootopia 2, really fascinating top five for this weekend, but everyone probably in this top five are feeling pretty good about themselves. Moving on to the domestic numbers so far for 2025. As you can see right above me, Minecraft is at number one, Lilo and Stitch is two, Superman 3, Jurassic World Rebirth 4, Wicked for Good 5, Zootopia 2 is 6. Zootopia 2 probably going to pass Wicked for Good by the end of its run. We have Sinners at 7, Fantastic Four First Steps at 8, How to Train a Dragon at 9, Captain America Brave New World at 10. Again, Avatar is going to get onto this list very soon. If probably actually next weekend, I'll be talking about Avatar Fire and Ash being in the top 10 domestic numbers. Looking at the overall numbers, you have Zootopia 2 at number 2. It's grossed at this point $1.2 billion. Lilo and Stitch, other billion-dollar movie, is at number 3. Minecraft is at 4. Jurassic World Rebirth at 5. Demon Slayer at 6. How to Train Your Dragon at 7. F1 at 8. Superman 9. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning at 10. Avatar is already at 19 right now for its global opening. So again, it's going to be in the top 10 of the year. It's probably going to get to $1 billion. I would say my final prediction right now, I do think Avatar Fire and Ash will get to $1.5 billion. Now you can say that's a big downgrade. The movie did cost $400 million to make. That's before advertising. James Cameron has been very vocal about how even though they've shot the first quarter of Avatar 4, he said that if the movie does not make enough money, he can easily move on from this franchise. Avatar 4 and Avatar 5 do have release dates over the next 6 years. So again, I'll talk about for weeks to come if these numbers will garner Cameron to come back to Avatar, but we shall see. So coming up is really the final box office weekend for the month of December, because no new movies are hitting theaters for New Year's Day, because a week from actually, this is the final box office weekend for December, because next Friday, it is already going to be January of 2026, which is honestly pretty crazy to talk about. So the final box office weekend, we do have a couple movies hitting theaters. We have Marty Supreme hitting theaters. It is a big awards movie, had the best per theater average in its limited release last weekend. It is hitting wide release this weekend. We'll see how Marty Supreme does and how that helps its awards hopes. Anaconda is the biggest studio movie that's hitting theaters this weekend. That's starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black. And Jack Black has been on a run lately. Super Mario Brothers, Kung Fu Panda, Minecraft this year. Let's see if Anaconda can do some good work. And then another awards hopeful, Song Sung Blue, starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, is also hitting theaters for Christmas Day. And again, these movies are hitting theaters technically on Christmas, but they really all come out Wednesday, the 24th. So, guys, what are your thoughts on the box office? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.